So last night, NVIDIA made headlines across the world. Their earnings were beyond flawless. Honestly, if I held NVIDIA... Oh boy, what the frig? Word salad today. Oh, I'm not going to edit that one out. Oh man, happy Thursday for everyone out there. Hopefully you all are doing very great and wonderful. I'm actually on day number 2 now of terrible sleep. I did not sleep very well last night. Sinuses are not doing very well this season, so having some issues with that. Today we're going to be talking about NVIDIA, how they smashed earnings with a karate chop. And if you are a NVIDIA shareholder, I mean, the company is making you feel very, very good, right? Their earnings beyond flawless. Going to be talking about NVIDIA and AMD primarily in today's episode. If you enjoy my content, as always, smash the like button, minus my word salad, and subscribe if you want to see me on a Monday through Friday basis. I'm probably going to start making educational videos on the weekends, probably Saturday, talking about how to really set up like your charts, TradingView primarily, just really, basic stuff. I've been in the market now for over 6 years. And I have a very well-rounded grasp on technical analysis, fundamental analysis, technical analysis when it comes to the charts, fundamental analysis when it comes to understanding how to actually understand how to calculate evaluations on companies, and also how to make your own price targets for the future. So let's get back into it, right? NVIDIA announced its financial quarter's first quarter 2026. Oh man, it was a banger. Utter banger. Revenue up significantly. You're talking, oh, and by the way, they have increased their share buyback. So if you are a NVIDIA shareholder, you're going to have a company that's buying back shares rapidly, not to mention their dividend is going up like crazy. They're going from a penny of a dividend to now a 25 cents dividend. That's actually a very, very big jump. So if you are a shareholder of NVIDIA, I mean, this company is making you feel very warm and cozy to be a shareholder, right? Smashed earnings, smashed revenue, revenue growth rates, just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Now, when you go to the actual price of NVIDIA, well, what is going on here? So I've been talking about this a lot on this YouTube channel, let alone a lot of other people on YouTube. Wall Street, not really so much, because, I mean, let's face reality. Wall Street, they probably already are aware of really what is going on primarily. And in my personal opinion, NVIDIA is going from a growth company to a value company. Okay? What do I mean by that? Because they just surpassed, growing significantly. It means that people are questioning their growth rates, because their growth rates are so incredible. People are actually really questioning, hey, can this company continue this up? Is there going to be a ceiling that's going to be hit? And is the company going to turn into a value play like Apple? You got 3 companies in the stock market. You got dividend companies, companies that really don't go up tremendously on their stock price, but they pay a very luxurious dividend. And if you are a dividend investor, well, you take advantage of dividend companies. Then you also have value companies. Think about Apple. Apple is like the safe haven of the stock market for a lot of people. Apple is a value company. Apple has experienced a massive amount of growth over the last couple of decades, okay? If you were to buy into Apple right now, you're not going to be 10xing your money. Could you very well do a 100x on your or a double up on your money rather? Keep it simple. You take $10,000, buy into Apple. Can you walk away with $20,000? Sure. When is that going to be happening? It's not going to happen overnight, and it's not going to happen like I have made over 100% on AMD now. I'm also holding SoFi on my private account with over 100% of gains. And I mean, yeah, there's a big difference, okay? Getting 100% return on Apple, it's very different, okay? Apple is a value company. There's nothing wrong with Apple. There's nothing wrong with NVIDIA. They are phenomenal companies. Don't get mad. Accept reality. That's what reality is. Reality is that money to be made in Apple is not the same as money to be made in a company like AMD. Why is that? Because AMD is going on a growth rate surge, okay? What is the third type of company in the stock market? You got dividend, you got value companies, you got growth companies. I'm a growth investor, let alone a growth trader. So I target growing companies that are going to be surging. NVIDIA, if we go ahead and look at NVIDIA from just go back, this is on the daily chart. So every single one of these candlesticks here is 1 day. Look at NVIDIA. What do you see from 2023? You see a massive growth. Can NVIDIA experience the same massive growth of their stock price? Well, there are people saying that NVIDIA is going to be a $20 trillion company. Now, can that happen anytime soon? More than likely, it's probably not going to. That is why I have my money in AMD. I've had my money in NVIDIA before, and I made money. But right now, in my personal opinion, NVIDIA is not the play if you are a growth investor, let alone growth trader. I mean, hell, if you're a growth trader, a couple months ago, you could have bought AMD at $200. And a couple months ago, if you had bought AMD at a couple months, you would be sitting on over 100% of profits, like me. So that is the big thing about choosing companies. Are you going to choose a value company or are you going to choose a growth company? Now, NVIDIA right now is still considered to be a growing company. But a lot of people, including the market, is looking at NVIDIA and they're like, hey, how long can you keep these insane growth rates up? And when are your growth rates going to be slowing down? On top of it, why would NVIDIA be raising their dividends so high and then also increase their share buyback significantly? AMD's not paying a dividend. Why? Because they're a growth company. Growth companies tend not to pay dividends. Okay, growth companies, they reinvest the capital to grow their company. Let alone AMD's not doing a share buyback anywhere at all because they're a growing company. So that is the very big thing, and that is who I am as a investor, a trader, and also a YouTuber in the stock community. So if you do follow me, understand that I am a growth investor and I look for growth stocks. Not saying NVIDIA is bad, but here's the reality. The reality is, first and foremost, I'm doing a public account profile challenge on this YouTube channel. Woohoo! Looking to take this sum of money to 6 figures in the course of 17 months. This account challenge started 2 January of this year. And so many of you have been with me since January of this year. And you've also witnessed me buying a lot of stock publicly on this channel. So for any of you out there that has bought into AMD like I have, congratulations. Now, is NVIDIA a bad company? Hell no. NVIDIA is the greatest company in the stock market. They are the top banana. But the top banana is not going to grow as fast as they used to. I'm not a NVIDIA bear. I'm an NVIDIA realist. And being a realist, you got to understand that, hey, they're moving from a growing, surging company where their stock price is going to get harder to get to $400. If I were to buy in right now to NVIDIA with, let's say, $1,000, $10,000, when am I going to experience a double up? Probably not for maybe years, if anything. Sure, I'm going to get some juicy dividends, but I'm not going to be making 100%. NVIDIA is not going to be at $440 something anytime soon. AMD, though, Can AMD right now do another double up? Can AMD go to 800 bucks? Yeah. When is that going to happen? It can happen in the next 12 months. Maybe it happens sooner. Maybe it happens a little longer. But AMD, I have a bearish price target on AMD that is not even nowhere clear to what AMD is right now. That's how crazy this situation is. AMD is experiencing a rapid growth. So, understand, when you get into these stocks, you gotta understand what you're getting into. Is it a dividend company? Is it a value company? Is it a growth company? I mean, hell, right now, theoretically, PayPal, if anything, they're kind of like a dividend company, if you really think about it. Because, PayPal, sure, I mean, PayPal right now could very well be deemed as kind of like dead money in a way. But I mean, hey, PayPal does give dividends. Actually, okay, maybe I'm going to take that back. They were giving dividends. But why would PayPal be giving dividends? Because they know that their stock price isn't going anywhere like it used to. That's very much the reality. Why is NVIDIA potentially raising so much of their dividend and also buying back so many shares? It's because it's getting harder. And by the way, when a company buys back shares, it does increase EPS. So it does drive up the stock price. Can NVIDIA get to 400 bucks for a stock price by buying back shares? That could be a real possibility. But I mean, the market is not going to continue to very much pummel on into NVIDIA because there's other growing opportunities. And AMD is going to be experiencing something very, very insane and massive over the next coming quarters, let alone 12 to 24 months. Very, very key for AMD. But I've been talking about NVIDIA for a lot. And if you go on social media and really say this, primarily X or on stock twits, you get thrown into the dirt. I'm just speaking reality here. Reality is that NVIDIA is a phenomenal company. But understand that if you are a growth investor, and if you want to, if you had two opportunities, I'm not a financial advisor, so always do your due diligence, but the due diligence is speaking for itself, okay? You're a growth investor, and you got to choose between AMD and NVIDIA. Sure, NVIDIA just came in and blew away everything. Why isn't the stock price up insanely? Why did AMD surge before earnings and after earnings? Because AMD is going on a growth rating cycle. And also AMD is not even close to $1 trillion of a company yet. AMD right now, their market cap, come on, load quicker. 2026 slow internet. $709 billion of a market cap. AMD is going to be over $1 trillion. AMD could very well go to $2 trillion. That is the reality about this. The reality is that AMD has so much more room to grow. Okay? Their room to grow is significantly more than NVIDIA. And if you talk about this, people do lash out. And primarily, a lot of it is people, not necessarily people that have been in NVIDIA for like the last couple years, because people that have been in NVIDIA for the last couple years that are up on unbelievable profits, okay? I've talked to so many people that are holding a 10-bagger on NVIDIA. Still, they're holding 1,000% gains on NVIDIA. 1,000% gains, okay? Here's the thing. The people that are getting very frustrated when you talk about this with NVIDIA tends to be people that are now buying into NVIDIA. I'm not buying into NVIDIA because I understand what is happening here. But people that will go ahead and try to beat you into the ground of the internet, they're people that are buying into NVIDIA right now. And I totally understand it. Okay, but the money to be made in NVIDIA was honestly 2022, 23, even 24. Now we're seeing the money to be made into AMD. We also have Walmart earnings today after hours. That's going to be interesting. But keeping it on topic a little further here, this ended up dropping yesterday, which is just it's absolutely just huge for AMD. AMD plans 10 billion Taiwan chip push. Lisa Su, she was basically talking to a very high delegate in China. At the same time, Lisa Su has very much set up AMD for this position. It's a very huge opportunity that Lisa Su has very much positioned this company for. And if we go back to 2022, once again, the whole reason why Wall Street pummeled on into NVIDIA is because AMD came out and said, hey, we're 2 to 3 years behind NVIDIA. 2 to 3 years is here, baby. AMD is going on its tear. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up today's video here. Once again, if you are a NVIDIA shareholder, I mean, hey, your company just put out like the best earnings they possibly can. Their earnings is a 110 out of 100%. Like it is beyond anything. Why is the stock down? It's because the market does not see NVIDIA anymore as their insane runs are going to be happening. That's what it comes down to. It comes down that NVIDIA is very much moving to becoming a value company. Now, what is going to end up happening for NVIDIA for the long term? Well, we could very well have NVIDIA be above 200. Maybe it's going to go to 260, 270, 280. But it's going to be very much stuck for a while. That's what happens to stocks. Apple was stuck for a very long time. And what ends up happening is they continue to put out great numbers. And obviously, that's going to continue to push up their evaluation on a forward PE. It's going to lower their forward PE. And eventually, NVIDIA is going to break out. But like I said, I'm a growth investor, let alone growth trader in the market. So I position myself to companies like AMD. But I mean, if you're a shareholder of NVIDIA, enjoy your dividends. Enjoy, being in the #1 company in the world. Just understand that there are other companies that can very well accelerate further with their stock price other than NVIDIA. Don't really mean to put NVIDIA, down and stuff, but it's just reality. And that's what's going to end up happening for the market. Let me know down below if you are a AMD shareholder or NVIDIA shareholder. And hopefully you found value in today's episode. Otherwise, tomorrow, another brand new episode. And keep it simple, everyone. And later.